static or dynamic circuit is based on this basic formula. So this is the delay equation what you have seen in Elmore's delay model. The time delay proportional to change in voltage as well as directly proportional to capacitance and inversely proportional to current. So if we could able to improve any of these values, we can able to reduce the delay. That is the basic concept behind all the technologies. So initially, the C by I ratio, as the capacitance value increases, so delay switching time also increases. So that's why in many circuit families, we will be trying to reduce the capacitance. So as the capacitance value reduces, consequently our logical effort, what we have seen earlier, that also will be reduced. In case of moving from one technology to another, we will be trying to reduce input capacitance. So as capacitance value decreases, the width and length also constitute the capacitance value, right? As the length of the capacitance decreases, so conversely the current will increase. So as the length between source and drain decreases, the time taken by the electron to travel from source to drain decreases. As we have seen in short channel effect, as the channel length decreases, current also increases. So that's why we are combining C and I as a single term. So C by I. So these are all interrelated things. So capacitance decreases, your current will improve. Consequently, your uh, time delay will be getting reduced. And also the voltage swing. So if possible, if we could able to reduce the voltage swing, we can able to reduce the uh, time delay. So we can get into the static logic family directly. So these are all some basics. Bubble pushing you might have seen in digital electronics itself. So this A dot B can be A dot B bar can be written as A bar plus B bar. That is your normal De Morgan's theorem only they have used for bubble pushing concept. Simple representation. A NAND gate can be represented as a bubbled OR. An OR gate can be represented as a bubbled AND. The same thing we will be applying at the time of uh, full adder design in third unit. At the time, fourth unit. So bubble the circuit of full adder, we will be using this bubble pushing concept. Yesterday you might have seen a question that how to design symmetric NOR2, right? That is also coming under the static family ganged CMOS. So if you see ganged CMOS, ganged CMOS circuit, so all the logic you have to design only using inverters. So we have to design entire circuit only using inverters. That is the concept called ganged CMOS. Yesterday there was a typo error in the question that question was you have to design a symmetric two input NOR gate. That was the question. So according to ganged CMOS concept, you can able to design any logic with respect to inverter alone. By only using inverter, you can able to design any type of logic. So this is the design of symmetric two input NOR gate. So this is the parallel connection of two inverters. So actually, if you want to extend NOR3 means you have to connect another inverter. So C will be connected parallelly to this. That's why we will be designing symmetric circuit. So this can be extended for several inputs also. Uh, So most of the university question paper, whatever examples they are presented in the textbook, they that only they will be asking. So whatever question you have attended, all the 3 days test, all are the university questions only. The first topic what we have to see in this static is your normal static CMOS that we have seen in the previous unit. So second topic is ratioed circuit. So this is also coming under static. So in the ratioed circuit, we will be discussing uh, initially pseudo NMOS. So before getting into pseudo NMOS, yesterday you have seen this question, right? So how to calculate parasitic delay as well as logical effort for the circuit which is given. So in the previous unit, we have seen how to calculate the logical effort of a particular gate. So if we go for a gate, for every logic, the PMOS and the NMOS logic are same. So you might have seen the equation like A dot B dot C whole bar, A plus B plus C whole bar. All these type of circuit only you have seen in the first unit. In this unit, you might have seen they have given several logic with the dot plus dot combination. So at that time, while calculating the logical effort, you have to calculate the logical effort of each and every input. So yesterday, while discussing about logical effort calculation, I have asked you to consider any one input to calculate the logical effort, because the logical effort for all the input were same at those cases. If you have a dot alone or plus alone in the circuit, so simply telling that if you have only one term in the circuit, you can able to go with any one input to calculate the logical effort. But in this case, if a plus is coming, you have two terms here. A dot B is one term, C is another term. So if you see here A dot B plus C dot B, you have two terms. So if you go with the A dot B plus C plus D, you have three terms. A dot B plus A dot C plus D, you have three terms. So at that time, you have to compute the logical effort separately for each and every input. Yesterday, most of the students have answered wrongly for this question, because you most of the students didn't refer the textbook. That's why the problem. So in this case, you have to calculate the logical effort of A, logical effort of B, and logical effort of C separately. Yesterday we have seen how to calculate these K values, right? I will repeat for this circuit again. Here you have initially single network for NMOS, as AB is parallelly connected to C, considering AB as single network and C as another network, both the AB and C are connected parallelly. So for the entire combination, K value will be 1. So for C, K value is 1. For combining both A and B, the basic K value will be 1. So now we have to get into this structure. AB common K value is 1, but AB is connected in series. So there are two stages. So common K value into 2. So totally 2, 2. So while seeing here, you have AB is a single network, C as another network. So you have two stages here. So for 2 into basic K value of PMOS is 2, so totally 4. So C will get 4 and the combination of AB will get 4. Again, we are getting into AB. Here A and B are connected in parallel. Again, you have only one stage. So 4 into 1, 4 into 1. So this is the case how we will calculate the K value. So in order to calculate uh, the logical effort of a particular input separately, so if you see A, so you will be having 4 units of input capacitance due to PMOS and 2 units of input capacitance due to this NMOS. So 4 plus 2 6. So the input capacitance of the unit inverter is 3. So 6 by 3. So the logical effort of this particular circuit for the input A. then logical effort due to B. For B, 4 unit of input capacitance due to this PMOS and for 2 units due to this NMOS. So 4 plus 2, 6, 6 by 3. So if you see this C, so you will be having 4 unit of input capacitance to PMOS and only 1 unit of input capacitance to NMOS. So 5 by 3 is the uh, logical effort. So while calculating parasitic delay, yesterday we have seen the definition of parasitic delay, that the delay, the same delay calculation only as what we have seen for a logical effort. But in order, you have to keep in mind that the delay will be calculated only for the zero load. So at that time, we will be considering only the transistor which is connected to the output. So at that time, Y is connected directly to this PMOS, that is C, and another NMOS A and another NMOS C. Only Y is directly connected to these 3 transistors only. So while adding the capacitance value of all these transistors, 4 plus 2 plus 1, so 7. So 7 divided by the input capacitance of the unit inverter. 7 by 3 is the parasitic delay. This is the way we have to calculate the parasitic delay. So if you see in this case, Y is directly connected to CD of PMOS and AC of NMOS. So 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. So 4 plus 4, 8, 10, 12. So 12 by 3 will be the parasitic delay. So yesterday, while discussing the parasitic delay chart, right, at that time we have seen for every NMOS and PMOS, uh, irrespective of the input conditions, so N will be the parasitic delay. So yesterday we have seen. So if you see this uh, what is this NMOS? Sorry, NMOS is connected. 3 NMOSs are connected in series, and 3 PMOSs are connected in. Sorry, 3 PMOSs are connected in series, and 3 NMOSs are connected in parallel. In the case of NOR gate, right? So in order to calculate parasitic delay of this NOR gate, so here 6 will be the uh, only output is connected to this particular PMOS and these 3 NMOSs, right? So in order to calculate the parasitic delay of this NOR 3, uh, so here 3 stages, so 3 into 2, 6 will be the K value. Here you will be having single stage, so 1 will be the K value here. So 6 plus 3, 9. 9 divided by input capacitance of the unit inverter, 3. So 9 by 3, 3. So that is the general expression they have specified. So number of inputs will be the amount of parasitic delay. So here 6 will be the K value, here 1, 1, 1. So while calculating the parasitic delay, we have to consider all the transistor which is connected directly to the output. So 6 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So totally 9. So divided by input capacitance of the unit inverter. So 9 by 3, 3. So for a 3 input NOR gate, parasitic delay will be 3. So if you consider 2 input means here you will be having 4, 4, 1, 1. So you don't have any, you don't have this NMOS as well as you don't have this PMOS. So you will be having only 2 stages, 2 into 2, 4. So 4 is the K value here, 1 is the K value here, 1 is the K value here. So 4 plus 1 plus 1, 6. So 6 divided by 3, right? So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's why in that chart, what we have seen yesterday, they have specified the input capacitance, sorry, parasitic delay of N input NMOSes and N input NOR gate as well as N input NAND gate, both are N like that. So depending on the transistors which is connected directly to the output, so we will be adding all the K values. Then we are dividing it with the unit inverters input capacitance. This is the way we will be calculating the parasitic delay. So keep in mind that if you want to calculate the logical effort of these type of NAND gate, NOR gate like structure. So whenever you calculate the parasitic delay as well as logical effort related to the particular input, all will be the same. But if you do the calculation with respect to any logic equation having two or three terms, at that time you have to calculate the logical effort separately for each and every input. This is common. Yesterday you have seen another question that you need to calculate the parasitic delay of pseudo NAND 2, right? So pseudo NAND 2 also you have to calculate logical effort also. So I will explain those concepts while discussing pseudo. So directly we can get into the pseudo. Yesterday you have seen the question of high skew also, right? High skew one question you might have seen. Calculate the logical effort of high skew NAND gate. So that is also they have specified. So all the question they have asked based on the example what they have given in the textbook only. So first one ratioed circuit, in that we have going to see pseudo NMOS. So while discussing about pseudo NMOS, why we are going to this particular circuit is we have seen one equation that delay is directly proportional to C by I del B, right? So in that, in order to improve that capacitance value only, we are first going to this pseudo NMOS. So according to pseudo NMOS, what we are going to do is, so we are going to replace the entire PMOS structure which is connected to the normal CMOS and replace it with a single PMOS. Single PMOS whose input is always grounded. This is the normal connection of a pseudo NMOS circuit. So whatever may be the logic, so if you see some examples also here, so whatever may be, this is the general expression. So whatever may be the logic, we will be drawing the functionality with respect to NMOS directly, and we will be replacing the entire PMOS functionality with a single PMOS whose input is grounded. So this PMOS structure is selected in such a way that, so the strength of this PMOS will be only 1/4 of the NMOS. Why we are choosing the 1/4 of the NMOS as strength of this PMOS is, this PMOS is connected, gate of this PMOS is connected to ground, right? So it is always on. So at that time, when we switch on this NMOS, again this PMOS is also on. When due to the input condition, when this NMOS network is on, so we may have a dangerous effect that sometimes this VDD can be directly connected to ground when both the cases are on. So at that time, if we are choosing this strength of this PMOS is very less, so it can able to provide high resistance when both are on. So current will always choose the low resistance path. So when we are giving high resistance path to this PMOS, so output won't be directly connected to VDD at that time. So it will choose only the low resistance path through the NMOS network. So always when NMOS is on, at that time output will be directly connected to ground only. So that's why we are choosing the strength of the PMOS will be 1/4 of your NMOS. So that can be applicable to so if sometimes they may ask you to calculate the logical effort of any of these pseudo NMOS. So at that time, so last time for the normal gate here for PMOS you have chosen the resistance value as 2R/K, right? At that, from that only we have got the expression for K. Here you have chosen R/K. So here what expression you are going to choose is, here you will be using R by 3 as a logical effort of this particular A. So 3 is coming from the unit transistor, right? R by 3, here you will be choosing uh, 1 by 4 into R by 3. Sorry, K by 3. Here it is K by 3. It is 1 by 4th of this particular strength, right? What we have specified already. So whatever strength we are applying to A, 1 by 4th of the strength only we are going to apply here. So here it will become 1 by 4 into K by 3. Here it will become K by 3. So here notation they have specified as I by 3, like with respect to current, and for NMOS they have specified as 4I by 3. So yeah, here they have specified as 4I by 3 for NMOS and I by 3 for PMOS. So when we connect one NMOS and PMOS, like the K value of NMOS will become 1 and for this is 2, right? So 4 into 1 by 3 will become 4 by 3 and it will become 2 by 3. So while comparing these two, you can able to see that this value is 1 by 4. So this value is 1 by 4th of this value. So strength of PMOS is chosen as 1 by 4th of what we have give strength given for NMOS. So ultimately you need to remember at the time of design that so you can able to draw the NMOS structure for the logic as it is, and you are going to replace the entire PMOS structure with a single PMOS which is always connected to ground. And very very important topic about static CMOS is it is speed as well as it is robustness is very very good. That's why in most of the cases static CMOS circuit is preferring. But uh, most of the time we can't able to maintain the stability of the output due to many reasons. So that's why we are moving from one logic to another frequently. Next topic in static circuit is ganged CMOS that we have seen already. How we can able to connect many inverters to obtain the logics. So you might have seen studied in digital electronics as they might be giving some logic equation. They will be asking you to design only using NAND gate, design only using NOR gate, like that, right? You might have seen those type of questions in digital electronics. Likewise, only here. So instead of NAND and NOR, we are going to implement design only using inverter. So this is the case of ganged CMOS. So you can able to while getting, you may think that how to draw the circuit and all. So if you are getting a logic, for example, this is NOR gate, right? A plus B the whole bar. Z equal to A plus B. The whole bar. So how to convert into using only, how to design only using inverter? Just you apply De Morgan's theorem. A plus B the whole bar will become A bar dot B bar. So now you got, right. So A can be supplied to an inverter, B can be supplied through an inverter, and you can connect it seriously. So you will get uh, the circuit which is connected only using inverters.